All right, we're here, we're live, and it's Friday. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Adobe Creative Cloud Live. My name is Terry White. We're here in studio, and I'm going to do something I haven't done in a very long time. I don't think I've done it on the Creative Cloud channel at all. We're actually going to do a live shoot. I've got my studio, which is next to this studio in the next room, and I've got a live model, and everything's all set and ready to go for us to do this how to shoot tethered into Lightroom Classic CC. So I'm going to walk you through the steps of how to do it. I'm going to tell you what you need. I'm going to give you a couple of tips and tricks, and Happy New Year. Welcome back, everyone. Hello, Evil Cerise, Anthony, Jacob, and everyone else that has popped into the room thus far. So we're going to have some fun. Now, the quality of the video will be a little less than what you're looking at right now because we're doing this remote. We're not hardwired over to the studio, but it still should look pretty good. And of course, you still should be able to get the information about how to do this. The next thing I'll do is after I'm done telling you everything that's going on over there and we do some test shots, of course, you'll be able to see everything we're doing. Then I'm going to come back into this studio and answer any last minute questions and close out the show for the day. So we won't do a whole hour. We won't do a lot of time, but we will get into the topic at hand. I just want to make sure before I head over there that I can see your comments. Let me make sure I'm on the comment part of this. I'm looking at this on my iPad. Oh, there it is, live chat. Okay, cool. All right, and Jacob, nice to meet you as well. Okay, so I got your comments that I can take over there with me. And without any further ado, let's head over to the studio. The model's name is Tuki. Let's give Tuki a nice warm welcome. She's sitting there patiently, so I'm going to switch over to her view, and I will walk over there in just a second. Hi, Tuki.
Hi.
All right, here I come.
Hey, everyone. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. So we're here in the studio. Let me make sure you can see her, make sure you can see me. See if I'm in camera. There I am. I'm in camera now. All right. So like I said, we're here in the studio with the lovely Tuki. We're going to be doing a how to shoot tethered. That way you get to see the entire process from start to finish. So with that said, I can see your comments. Camilo says excellent. Evil Cerise dances. All right. I'm glad I'm glad my tutorial really helped you out. All right, so with that said, I'm going to set this somewhere where I don't have to hold it. See if I can manage this. The only thing I didn't account for was a tablet space. Oh, you're not streaming? Okay. Oh, you didn't start?
No, it's started right now.
Okay, I was going to say, that cables.
Sweet.
All right, and you found it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
Well, that's what you're for. All right. Okay, so with that said, without further ado, now, you're going to be able to see us in the computer at the same time, unfortunately, with the setup, but I'll walk you through it. Then we'll switch back to the camera so you can see the shots that are being taken, and then we'll switch back to Lightroom so you can see the shots that are being taken inside Lightroom. So first and foremost, what you're going to need, let me make sure you guys are good, you can hear me. All right, so hold on, I got a question right off the bat. I'm going to answer this question that I see. I'm going to put this up higher. All right, so Dr. Dirty Devil's asking, is the cloud-based Lightroom CC supposed to be a replacement of the Lightroom Classic somewhere in the future, or is it always going to be a lesser program than Classic? Well, you know what they say about the future. If we could predict it, we'd all be rich and we wouldn't have to work. So the future is yet to be told on what will be the ultimate Lightroom. Whether it be Lightroom Classic, whether it be Lightroom CC, whether it still be a combination of the two, time will only tell. But the good thing is that you guys will be able to continue using both until both aren't needed anymore. In other words, we're not planning on cutting you short to where you don't have a good Lightroom to work with. So that's best of both worlds. You got everything that you need right now. All right, so with that said, so someone's saying the sound's not good. You guys hear me okay? What is it about the sound? Is it too low or just not good? You don't hear anything, Jacob. All right. Can you guys hear the sound okay? All right, well, I'm looking at the mic, so I'm checking it as best I can. So tell me what it is about the mic. Checking it doesn't tell me anything. What is it that you're not hearing? So Jacob says you don't hear anything. Tell me what. If you can hear me, type a 3 into the chat. Let's start with that. Some sort of noise cancellation going on? That could be. I turned off the music. So if you can hear me, type a 3. There definitely will be a lag. That's without saying. Feedback and echo from the sound. Okay, thanks, Reggie. That helps. All right, I will try and step back a little bit from the mic. Now you hear and see me, great. Quality is not good. Okay, we'll keep it to a minimum here, and we'll do what we have here, and I'll go back in and answer any questions on our mic for those that didn't hear it well here. Sound bit rate too low. Okay, thanks. That's more descriptive. Thank you. All right, so with that said, I'll try and talk louder. I'll try and talk slower. I'll try and enunciate so that you guys can hear it. Oh, you know what? Well, let me try something. Let me see if this will help the sound before I continue. Hold on one second.
Just get one back.
Unmute the other mic, which I'm in the other room now.
I don't know if this will make it any better, but now it might pick up some of the audio in the other room. So let me know if that's any better or worse. If not, I'll go ahead and turn that back off. All right, conflicting mics. Oh, I know what it might be. Hold on. Thanks for the conflicting mics.
It helped you.
All right, let me know if that's any better. I turned off all other mics. All right, let me know if that's better. Back in the studio. Back in the studio. Let me know if that's better. All other mics have been turned off. All right. I know there's a delay, so I'm waiting for the response. Yep, Jesse, I turned off all of the mics, so there's only one mic on now. Definitely will be better with the other mic. All right, but sounds like you guys can at least hear me. I know the other microphone is better. I got that, but we're going to continue on. All right, so with that said, let's talk about what needed for tethering. So first and foremost, tethering right now is and has always been with DSLRs. So unfortunately, I don't know of any point-and-shoot cameras that support it. So it's really the professionals that do the tether. And for the most part, it's been a game of Nikon and Canon. Those have been the two manufacturers. I know there's some Leica models supported. I know that there are some third-party plugins that the other camera manufacturers provide for Lightroom so they can tether as well. So in other words, you can check your camera manufacturer to see if their camera is supported. Also, we have a list of supported cameras. If you just Google Lightroom supported cameras for tethering or tethered cameras, you'll find that list, and we're always updating it with whichever cameras that can support tethering. I'm currently using the latest and greatest Nikon D850. So this is their newest camera, which we just started supporting with tethering, I believe in December. So it's fairly new as far as the tether support is concerned. Usually the raw support will come first, and then the tethering support will come next. So first thing you'll need is the right camera. Second thing you'll need is a cable. So I've got a rig here set up to where this particular camera uses USB 3. So there's a USB 3 port or the plug plugged into it. And I've got what's called a tether block on the bottom of it. And what this keeps me from doing while I'm walking around and shooting is pulling on the cable and therefore either damaging the port or pulling the cable out. So the cable is running through this tether block, which also serves as a mount for my tripod. So that way, cable can't be pulled out, and I can still mount it on a tripod if necessary. Now, this cable is also orange in color. This cable is by a company called Tether Tools, and they make 15-foot cables, nice long cables, so therefore you can walk around while you're shooting tethered. Now, what's the advantage of shooting tethered? Well, as you know, normally when you shoot, you see it on the back of your camera. You see this nice, small, but good 3-inch display. And a lot of times it's just really hard to tell if you got the right shot, if the eyes are open, if it's in focus, so forth and so on, when you're having to always look at the small display, or when you're having to zoom in all the time just to see it. So that's one of the problems with tethered shooting, or without doing tethered shooting. Tethered shooting actually solves that problem. So I'm going to put the camera down for a second now that you've seen this. The other end of this cable is plugged into the computer. So 15-foot cable, one end into your camera, USB micro, I think it is. No, USB mini or USB 3 depending on your camera. And the other end is the computer. Put this down for a second. And now it's going to show you how you would do this in Lightroom. So I'm going to switch off from you guys seeing us to you guys seeing my computer. All right, so now you should be seeing Lightroom on my computer. And what I'm going to do now, this is Lightroom Classic CC, is I'm going to go ahead and go up to the File menu. I'm going to come down to Tether Capture, Start Tether Capture. And then you give your session a name. I usually give it the name of the model or the person or the object or the thing that I'm shooting. Next, you will give it a start number. So, and pick your numbering sequence. So, for example, I typically do at least 3 numbers, if not 4. That way, I know I'm never going to really shoot over 1,000. I'm never going to shoot 999,000 frames, so 4 numbers should be enough. And of course, I normally would start at 1. We've been shooting already, so we're already up to 476, it looks like. Then another option is that you have the ability to add the shots as you take them to a collection. So for example, if you were to add to a collection, I can say create a new collection. I can say that this is going to be 252 gallery. I can put it inside of a collection set if I choose. So that way it's organized the way I want. So I can say current work. And I can also sync this with Lightroom Computer, Lightroom Mobile. So that way, as I'm taking the shots, they're also being synced to the cloud, and anyone that I give access to that gallery can see them as I'm taking them. Or they can be viewed on an iPad or an Android device as they're being taken. All right, so once I've done that, that will go ahead and create the collection, and it will select that collection. And then I can go ahead and just, if there are keywords that are particular to your particular shoot, that are generic enough to put in for everything that you're doing, you can go ahead and do that as well. And then you're ready to go. So once I click OK, that will bring up this tethering bar. This tethering bar actually can control the camera. It will also show you current settings on the camera. So right now it's showing me that I've got the D850 connected. I'm at 1/25th of a second. I'm at f-stop 5.6 at 100 ISO with auto white balance. I can also choose a developed setting. Now what this is for is more of one of those advanced tips that if you want your images to be adjusted as you shoot them, again, all of these adjustments are non-destructive. You can choose whatever that preset is. You have to go make the preset first before you get into tethering, but then once you've made the preset, you can choose it. So the preset that I made simply does one thing. It corrects for lens distortion. So it applies a lens correction to every shot that I take with Tether. You'll also notice that there's a shutter button here. So you can actually press the shutter. Let's say you have the camera mounted on a tripod. You can control the whole thing from the computer. The only thing you wouldn't be able to control are, you wouldn't be able to focus or move the camera around. But if you just want to, like, put the camera in a spot where it's difficult to take the shot and press it with the computer, you could. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is this is usually always, no matter where you put it, it's going to be in your way. So another tip is to simply hide the tethering bar. You can hide it by hitting on the Mac, Command-T, on Windows, Control-T. That will hide it. And of course, the same keyboard shortcut will bring it back. So Command-T or Control-T will bring it back as well. So here are some of the shots we've already taken. And I'm going to go ahead and get into loop view so you guys can see that. I'm going to go full screen there. I can go full screen there too. Okay, so great. I'm going to go to full screen. And so that's one of the shots we've already taken. Boxing glove earlier. We kind of got out of the boxing glove thing, and now we're back to she's got a nice fashion look, nice fashion hat on. So we're going to do that. All right, so I'm going to switch views temporarily so you guys will see what I'm doing with the camera first, and then we'll switch back to Lightroom so you can see the images as they come in. All right, you're up. Okay, so we're up in the video now, and that's going to see us. We got the camera here, got the trigger for the flash already set, and we're going to take a couple of frames, and then we'll then switch back to Lightroom, continue shooting frames so that way you can see them as they come in, and then we'll wrap things up. I'll head back over to the other studio where I can answer any questions that you may have that are left. All right, ready? All right, what are you doing today?
So I really like this fashion hat, so let's focus on that.
Focus on the hat? All right, I think I can do that. Good. All right, just took a few frames. You keep doing that all day long, but I want you to be able to see what we're doing. So let's go ahead and switch back over to the Lightroom view so you guys can see it. All right, and you can see the shots that have come into Lightroom thus far. And again, if I can go full screen on this. There we go. So as I'm taking it now, you should just pop up and you should just see it. Good, good. All right, chin up. A little bit more. Perfect. All right, so if you're wondering, like, well, how fast is it, or how long does it take to load? All of that is dependent on speed of your computer, speed of your connection to your camera. This is USB 3, it's pretty quick. The next thing will be speed of the, or size of the images. So if you're shooting with a very high megapixel camera, they will come in slower. So all of that is relative. All right, ready? Good. A little closer. Good. Just before it's on. Love these questions. Right now, let's shut down. Good. Good. All right. So that is how tethering works. Thank you, Tiffany. I'm going to go ahead and switch back over now so you guys can wrap up with any questions and hopefully get a little bit better sound. Let's go do that.
Can they still hear me?
Yeah, they can do that.
Okay.
Mic check, 1, 2. Okay, there we go. Should be able to hear me now. Can you hear me now? Yes? No? Mic check. You should be able to hear me now. I see the meters. Okay, sorry about that. Came back and audio hadn't turned back on, even though I turned it back on. So, again, apologize for the not so great audio in the other room. Again, we were doing that all wirelessly. I will work on a better wireless solution for next time I want to do that. So now that we're back, now that you have the audio, so quick recap for those of you who couldn't hear what was going on in the other room or didn't hear it right. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's recap and do it the right way. So first and foremost, you will need a compatible camera. You will need something that works with tethering. And I noticed that Evil Cerise already posted a link in the chat. Again, if you don't see that link, or if you're watching this on the replay and you don't have that link, just simply Google Lightroom Tether Capture camera support, or Lightroom Tethered camera support. And that will bring up a document with all the various cameras that are supported in tethering. The next thing is, besides the camera, you're going to need a cable. Now, there's a cable that came in your box. There's one that came with every camera you bought. It's a USB cable, but it's only probably about 3 feet long. And that cable obviously is going to be too short if you want to walk around. So just get a long USB cable. I tend to like the ones from Tether Tools. They're a bit on the pricey side, but they're nice, thick gauged cables that won't wear out quickly. And they're painted orange so people can see them and not trip over them. At least hopefully they won't trip over them. And they come in a nice long length of 15 feet or more, depending on which one you buy. So, compatible camera number 1, a nice long USB cable that's supported by your camera, number 2, and number 3, of course, Lightroom Classic CC. When you're going to use Lightroom Classic, again, you set up the Tether Capture from the File menu. You just simply choose, let's see if I can't, hold on, maybe I can do this. I was going to say I wasn't going to show anything on this computer, but I can at least walk you through the steps real quick. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see if we can go to this so you can see it. All right, so I'm back in Lightroom here. This is Lightroom Classic CC. So under your File menu, you would simply go to Tether Capture, start Tether Capture, and name your session. Again, this could be any name you want to give it, but this is basically going to be the folder name that your images are captured in. So you're going to choose, like for example, out there I did, her name's Tuki, or her nickname's Tuki. I did number 2, and then of course I started with number 1. Now, again, I gave you an idea of the number sequence. So for example, you can, one second, let me kill my notifications here. There we go. You can go in and you can decide, for example, if you edit this, if 3 numbers is not enough, you can actually change it to 4, which is what I prefer. That way I know I'm going to never shoot 10,000 images in one setting, so 9,999 is plenty. And then of course the location on your drive, because you got to remember, as you're shooting these, they're going straight to your computer's hard drive. So you can pick whatever drive you want, whatever folder you want, and as long as it's got enough space, as you're capturing, they will be added there. Next thing you can do is you can add a collection. So for example, if I create a collection and I call it Tuki2 Gallery, and I can put it in a collection set, but I can also, this option is not here on this one because this catalog's not synced, but you will have an option to sync it to the cloud as well. So not only as you're shooting and they're going to your hard drive, but they will also be able to shoot and go directly to the cloud so people can watch them on other devices. Clients can be looking at them. You can look at them on your iPad, your Android devices, on the web, wherever you want. All right, and that's if you choose to create a collection or not. And then last but not least, you can use a metadata template and any keywords that are going to be generic enough to apply to every image you shoot for this one. So for example, I did fashion and model. And then once you click OK and turn your camera on, it will show up with everything here. So for example, you'll see which camera's connected. If you got more than one, you'll be able to choose them. Your your shutter speed, f-stop, ISO, white balance setting, and you can choose a preset that you want applied to all of your images. So for example, I had done one that was a lens correction. I don't know if I got it here, but I like this one. Just make it look better. So any presets that you make, you will be able to choose those as well. And then once you're connected, as you shoot, they'll show up here. You can go full screen, and you can even use the button here to fire the shutter. For example, in those situations where you're trying to shoot a product, camera's up on a tripod or mount it, shooting down or something, and you don't want to have to always climb up to press the button, you can do it here. All right, and then as you shoot, they're on your hard drive, and if your camera supports it, like Canon cameras support dual shooting. They support not only tethering, but also shooting to the card at the same time. Nikon cameras don't shoot to the card at the same time. So you'll save time just by even taking the card out of a camera that you don't plan on shooting to, because then it won't have to read it if there are a bunch of images on it. And that's it. That is your tip for tethered shooting. That's how you do it. It is a feature in Lightroom Classic CC that I've used for years, and I still rely on it to this day. So with that said, I'm not seeing any new questions, just lots of comments about the audio, which, sorry about that. All right, any last minute questions before we head out? I'll give you guys a second. And while I'm waiting for you to chime in with any questions you may have, I will also just take a second to promote next week's live stream. Let's see, I think I've got a graphic for that. It is right here. So next week, we start back the 3-day live stream segments that happen at behance.net/live. So you can watch artists create 3 days straight, all day. So from 9 to 5 Pacific time, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you guys will be able to watch artists stream and watch them create. So with that said, thanks for the sticking with me through the audio issue, and glad you guys got something out of this. And thanks for Evil Cerise for the moderating and putting up the links and doing the great job that you always do. All right, Reggie, glad I could help. And guys, take care. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.